29-year-old Brittany Maynard was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer back in January of this year. And recently she decided to move to the state of Oregon and take her own life due to a law that they have there called the Death with Dignity Act. Now, of course, this is not something that's available in all states, which is why she moved to Oregon. But she decided to take matters into her own hands after she realized this is a terminal illness. I don't want to watch my body completely deteriorate and then die on some bed in some hospital. So this has been a very, very controversial issue. People disagreed with it. However, her husband and her family seem to support her. Here's what she had to say in a post. She said, "Goodbye to all my dear friends and family that I love. Today is the day I have chosen to pass away with dignity in the face of my terminal illness. The world is a beautiful place. Travel has been my greatest teacher. My close friends and folks are the greatest givers. Goodbye, world. Spread good energy. Pay it forward."
So this is a powerful case. It's her choice, right? So as I read that, I can't help but think I might have made a different choice. Because I always think I'd be like, let me wait one more day, right? Let me eat something else. Let me watch something else. Let me share another moment with my friends and family. But I don't know the pain she was in.
You don't. And I did find a video that she made to kind of give you guys a sense of what she went through. This is kind of a longer clip, but it really gives you a sense of what she was dealing with. So take a look at it.
Most recently, my most terrifying set of seizures was about a week or so ago. I had 2 in a day, which is unusual. And I remember looking at my husband's face at one point and thinking, I know this is my husband, but I can't say his name. And ended up going to the hospital for that one. It's a weird feeling to wake up every day and be in my body because it feels so different than it did just a year ago. To be perfectly candid, in the last 3 months, I've gained over 25 pounds. And over nothing I've put in my mouth except for prescription medications. I don't like being photographed, I don't like being filmed, and I don't like spending a lot of time looking in the mirror. And I'm not full of self-hate or loathing. It's just that my body has changed so quickly. You really kind of stop recognizing yourself in a way, and that's very personal. But I think sometimes people look at me and they think, well, you don't look as sick as you say that you are. Which hurts to hear because when I'm having a seizure and I can't speak afterwards, I certainly feel as sick as I am.
Okay, now it's inoperable, so the end is clear, right? The only question is when and under what circumstances. So what choices I would have made is entirely irrelevant. I mean, the bottom line is, do we live in a free country or don't we? Do you believe in liberty or don't you? So what right would I have to tell her what to do?
You have no right.
And why? Why would what I think matter to her? I mean, are we really as a country saying, and apparently we are in most of the states that we live in, that's why she had to move to Oregon, that I don't care what you want to do with your life. You have to live by my rules, right? Because you're not hurting anyone. It's just you, right? It's the most obvious case of liberty you can possibly have. What do you do with your own life that does not affect anyone else? You're not hurting anyone else. And you know why they don't allow her to do it in most states?
It's religion.
It's religion.
Yeah.
It's because, oh, my sky god says you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Oh my God, why would I care?
Yeah.
Why would I care what your sky god says?
Yeah, I think that this is the most personal decision anyone could ever make. And if you have a terminal illness and you see your body deteriorating, your health deteriorating, who is the state and who is any political party or any person of authority to tell you, oh, this is your life, but we're gonna make a decision as to whether or not you can take your own life? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something really sick about that. And for anyone out there who preaches, especially right-wingers, right? The ones that preach the most about liberty and, individual liberty. If you genuinely believe in that, then you should be supportive of laws like this that allow people to get that prescription medication when they're terminally ill to take their own lives when they're ready for it. It's not like some healthy 28-year-old like me is going to go to the doctor and be like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm having a tough time in life. Can you give me that drug? I'm ready to go. You know, but it's hey, I have a terminal illness. My life is falling apart. I don't want to die on a hospital bed. I want to die on my terms.
Some might consider this to be the most irrelevant law there is, because if I decide to kill myself, what are you going to do? Arrest me after I die?
Right.
Good luck to you, brother. Okay, but it's actually not that simple, because a lot of times you need help. Otherwise, you're going to have to use a gun or some horrible way of trying to die. Oftentimes people shoot themselves, but shoot themselves in the head and the bullet goes in and out and makes the situation worse. And then that leads to just chaos and even more pain and just the exact opposite of what you want. This is a humane way to do it, where you get to choose and you get to do it with dignity.
Yeah.
If you're against this, I think you're un-American. I know it's a strong thing to say, the right wing usually says that, etc. But you're a person who is more into a theocracy, where one religion rules us all. But America is based on the idea that we don't have a state religion and that we believe in the core of liberty, which is what this is, that you get to do with what you want with your life.
And that's what she said. She told CNN, "I'm not suicidal. I do not want to die, but I am dying, and I want to die on my own terms." That's liberty, you know? And you're right. I would much rather have it work in that way than to have her take her own life in a riskier way or an inhumane way. Just to give you a really quick example, a few years ago, there was a woman who was selling suicide kits on eBay. I remember doing this story. It was one of the more memorable stories that we did. And I felt really sick about it because this woman was profiting off of selling a kit that people would utilize to kill themselves. But then I realized that there was a market for it because the majority of these people live in states where if they are terminally ill, they don't have that option, right? And the suicide kit was something that would help them like asphyxiate themselves. It came with a bat. I mean, it was terrible, right? It just made me feel horrible. But to know that there is a drug out there that someone can take and they go peacefully, I mean, for you to be against that when someone is suffering and they're terminally ill, I don't understand that kind of reasoning or logic.
And you know us, we're not radical libertarians, right? So I think there, of course, there's got to be important rules around it.
Yeah.
But if you don't allow for it, it allows for the quacks to come in place and take advantage of desperate people and provide desperate measures. And that doesn't help anybody. And if somebody wants to take their life, they're gonna do it. The only question is how.